Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. An eye for an eye will only make the whole world blind. Happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. When I despair, I remember that all through history, the way of truth and love have always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they can seem invincible, but in the end, they always fall. Think of it always. Thus, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Where there is love, there is life. Prayer is not asking. It is a longing of a soul. It is a daily admission of one's weakness. It is better in prayer to have a heart without words than words without a heart. I like your Christ. I do not. I like your Christians. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ. Your Christians are so unlike your Christ. Freedom is not worth having if it does not include the freedom to make mistakes. Nobody can hurt me without my permission. God has no religion. God has no religion. Hate the sin. Love the sinner. Hate the sin. Love the sinner. I'll not let anyone walk through my mind with dirty feet. Your beliefs become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits. Your habits become your values. Your values become your destiny. You must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is like an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Let the first act of every morning be to make the following resolve. For the day I shall not fear anyone on earth. I shall fear only God. I shall not bear ill will toward anyone. I shall not submit to injustice from anyone. I shall conquer untruth by truth. I shall conquer untruth by truth and resist untruth. I shall put up with all suffering. The future depends on what you do today. A man is but the product of his thoughts, what he thinks he becomes. The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Man often becomes what he believes himself to be. If I keep on saying to myself that I cannot do a certain thing, it is possible that I may end up by really becoming incapable of doing it. On the contrary, if I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have it at the beginning. To give pleasure to a single heart by a single act is better than 1,000 heads bowing in prayer. Each night when I go to sleep, I die, and the next morning when I wake up, I am reborn. Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed. What difference does it make to the dead, the orphans, and the homeless, whether the mad destruction is wrought under the name of totalitarianism or in the holy name of liberty or democracy? To believe in something and not to live, it is dishonest. There are people in the world so hungry that God cannot appear to them except in the form of bread. It is unwise to be sure of one's own wisdom. It is healthy to be reminded that the strongest might weaken, and the wisest might err. Of the day of the power of love overrules the love of power. The world I will know peace. Whatever you do will be insignificant, but it is very important that you do it. A truth never damages a cause. That is just. Whenever you are confronted with an opponent, conquer him with love. Strength does not come from physical capacity. It comes from an indomitable will. It is easy through enough to be friendly to one's friends, but to be friend to one who regards himself as your enemy is the quintessence of true religion. The other is mere busyness. Action expresses priorities. To call woman the weaker sex is a libel. Is a man's injustice to woman. If by strength is meant brute strength, then indeed is woman less brute than man. If by strength is meant moral power, then woman is immeasurably man's superior. Has she not greater intuition? Is she not more self-sacrificing? Has she not greater powers of endurance? Has she not greater courage? But her man could not be. If nonviolence is the law of our being, the future is with woman who can make a more effective appeal to the heart than woman. But spitting forever. Gandhi, I said forever. Spitter forever. It's the action, not the fruit of the action. That's important. You have to do the right thing. It may not be in your power. It may not be in your time that there will be any fruit, but that doesn't mean you stop doing the right thing. You may never know what results come from your action, but if you do nothing, there will be no result. my life is my message. You do not know. You don't know who is important to you until you actually lose them. I object to violence because when it appears to be do good, the good is only temporary. The evil is permanent. You can chain me. You can torture me. You can even destroy this body, but you'll never imprison my mind. If I had no sense of humor, I would alone go commit a suicide. You may never have know what results come of your actions. But if you do nothing, there will be no results. There is more to life than simply increasing its speed. I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your need. I feel your feelings. I remember that all through history there have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they seem invincible. But in the end, they always fall. Always. Love is the strongest force the world possesses, and yet it is the humblest imaginable. The simplest acts of kindness are by far more powerful than a thousand heads bowing in prayer. Silence becomes cowardice when occasion demands speaking out of the whole truth and acting accordingly. There is nothing that wastes the body like worry, and one who has any faith in God should be ashamed to worry about anything whatsoever. A coward is incapable of exhibiting love. It is the prerogative of the brave. They cannot take away our self-respect if we do not give it to them. Speak only if it improves upon the silence in a gentle way. You can shake the world. There is no school equal to a decent home, and no teacher equal to a virtuous parent. I cannot conceive of a greater loss than the loss of one's self-respect. Poverty is the worst form of violence. To my mind, the life of a tomb, the life of a lamb is no less precious. To my mind, the life of a lamb is no less precious than that of a human being. I call him religious. I call him religious who understands the suffering of others. I call him religious who understands the suffering of others. And doing something, do it with love, or never do it at all. Seek not greater wealth, but simpler pleasure. No, not higher fortune, but deeper felicity. Felicity, there is no way to peace. There is only peace. Always aim at complete harmony of thought and word and deed. Always aim to purifying your thoughts, and everything will be well. A truth is one, paths are many. I believe in the fundamental truth of all great religions of the world. Yes, I am. I am also a Muslim, a Christian, a Buddhist, and a Jew. I am everything I'm spitting. Palestine belongs to the Arabs in the same sense that England belongs to the English, or France to the French. It is wrong and inhuman to impose the Jews on the Arabs. Surely it would be a crime against humanity to reduce the proud Arabs so that Palestine can be restored to that Jews partly or wholly as their national home. Power is of two kinds. One is obtained by the fear of punishment, and the other by acts of love. Power based on love is 1,000 times more effective and permanent than the one derived from fear of punishment. I came to the conclusion long ago that all religions were true, and that also that all had some error in them. And while I hold by my own religion, I should hold other religions as dear as Hinduism, so that we can only pray if we are Hindus. Not that a Christian should become a Hindu, but our innermost prayer should be that a Hindu should become a better Hindu, a Muslim a better Muslim, and a Christian a better Christian. Faith is not something to grasp. It is a state to grow into. My imperfections and failures are as much of a blessing from my God as my successes and my talents, and I lay them both at my feet. I was reading, I'm spitting forever and ever, never stop spitting Gandhi forever. I believe in equality for everyone except reporters and photographers. When every hope is gone, when helpers fail and comforts flee, I find that help arrives somehow from I know, and not where supplication, worship, prayer, or no superstition. They are acts more real than the acts of eating, drinking, sitting, or walking. It is no exaggeration to say that they alone are real. All else is unreal. Each one has to find his peace from within. And peace to be real must be unaffected by outside circumstances. Our ability to reach unity and diversity will be the beauty and the test of our civilization. There are many causes I would die for. There is not a single cause I would kill for. I want freedom for the full expression of my personality. I know uttered from the deepest conviction is better than a yes merely uttered to please, or worse, to avoid trouble. It is wrong and immoral. It is wrong and immoral to seek to escape the consequences of one's acts. If we are to reach real peace in the world, we shall have to begin with the children. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. When asked what he thought of Western civilization, I think it would be a good idea. Prayer is not an old woman's idle amusement. Properly understood and applied, it is the most potent instrument of action. The world has enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. What barrier is there not love cannot break? It is easier to build a boy than to mend a man. Nothing is so aggravating as calmness. The seeker after truth should be humbler than the dust. The world crushes the dust under his feet, but the seeker after truth should be so humble himself that even the dust could crush him. Only then, and not until then, will he have a glimpse of the truth. Manliness consists not in buff bravado or loneliness. It consists in daring to do the right thing and facing consequences, whether it is in manner social, political, or other. It consists in deeds, not words. Nonviolence is a weapon of the strong. Live simply so that others may simply live. The greatness of humanity is not in being human, but in being humane. Fearlessness is the first requisite of spirituality. Cowards can never be moral. I'm spitting. I am convinced I'm Gandhi forever, spitter forever.